Hey, welcome back. It's Jason Realty here. Consumer sentiment towards our housing market right now has reached a decade low. This is according to a new survey that was actually just announced today from Fannie Mae. So I'm going to take a deep dive into what is going on with our housing market right now so you guys can be more informed. And with that said, let's begin today's video. This was actually just announced today, again, at the time of this video, which is the 8th. And they stated here that we're having some interesting shifts in our housing market right now because consumer sentiment regarding buying a house as well as selling a house has been decreasing. So check this out. This is what's called their Fannie Mae Home Purchase Sentiment Index, or their HPSI. So overall, that decrease in July. This index here has now fallen to the lowest levels since 2011 and also well below the all-time high that was set in 2019. So interesting enough, only 17% of these people who responded to the survey here believe it's a good time to buy a house. Only 17%. Whereas the number of people who said it's a good time to buy a house has actually been decreasing in more recent weeks as well, falling from 76% who believe it's a good time to sell a house and now down to 67% in July. So in other words, about 67% believe it's a good time to sell, whereas only 17% actually responded that it's a good time to buy a home. So overall, their home purchase sentiment index decreased to 62.8 in July. This is actually below the levels we had in May 2020 when we basically had stay-at-home orders during the early onset of this pandemic. So pretty eye-opening that this index has fallen below the levels we saw back in May 2020. And the current levels right now are basically on par with the last half of 2011. So in regards to the number of people who said it's a good time to buy a house, again, that's only at 17%. I believe that ties the record low that was set in May 2022, when we also had only 17% of these respondents who said it's a good time to buy a house. And this is obviously well below last year's levels. So in July 2021, 28% believed it's a good time to buy a house. And in 2020, at this time, it was around 53%. And of course, the reason why this has been decreasing is because mortgage rates and also home prices have been skyrocketing. So according to Doug Duncan, who's Fannie Mae's senior vice president and chief economist, he stated the following. The HPSI has declined steadily for much of the year as higher mortgage rates continue to take a toll on housing affordability. Unfavorable mortgage rates have been increasingly cited by consumers as a top reason behind the growing perception that it's a bad time to buy a house as well as sell a home. On top of that, consumers appear to be indicating that selling conditions are softening, as a good time to sell component has declined meaningfully over the past 2 months. This is actually on par with the trends we're seeing right now regarding new listings. So check this out. According to Realtor.com, I made a video about this about a week ago, but according to them, new listings have been declining over the past several weeks. So for the week ending July 16th, we had a 3% decrease in the number of new listings compared to the same time period 1 year ago. The next week, it fell by 6%, and the most recent week we have right now, which of course is for the week ending July 30th, new listings are down 8% year over year. This general trend is also what Redfin is posting as well, because for the 4 weeks ending July 31st of this year, new listings are down 11.2%. In my personal opinion, the reason why we're seeing new listings actually decrease compared to prior years is due to a multitude of different scenarios or different reasons. One of them being that if you have a mortgage rate at 2.6% or anything less than 4% really, you really don't have a lot of motivation to sell your house and buy a new one, given the fact that home prices and mortgage rates have been skyrocketing. On top of that, because our housing market has been softening, that would give less people motivation to sell their houses. In stark contrast, there are homeowners right now who want to get the equity of their houses because home prices have increased greatly. So areas like Boise, Idaho, where home prices have increased around 60% over the past 2 years, some homeowners may want to sell in order to get the equity of their houses. And going back to this survey here from Fannie Mae here, they also cite that fewer consumers expect home prices to increase over the next 12 months. And with home price growth slowing and projected to slow further, according to Fannie Mae here, they believe that consumer reaction to current housing market conditions is likely to be increasingly mixed. So for example, like I mentioned, some homeowners may want to sell right now because home prices are still very high, whereas some potential home buyers may decide not to buy a house right now because they believe that home prices are going to dip further. So if this trend continues where we have a lack of new listings hitting the market and also home buying demand decreasing greatly, that's going to cause housing inventory to increase greatly as well, which is exactly what we've been seeing over the past few months. So in other words, this is going to cause home price growth to slow down. And also we're going to see a decrease in home sales as well. And also in some markets like San Francisco, for example, they're seeing a decrease in home prices compared to 1 year ago, which is pretty mind-blowing given the fact that home prices have been increasing greatly over the past couple of years. In regards to home prices over the next 12 months, approximately 39% believe that home prices will increase in the next 12 months. Whereas 30% believe that home prices are going to decrease in the next 12 months. And about 26% believe that home prices will be about the same. To me, this is pretty eye-opening because more people believe that home prices are going to increase over the next 12 months than decrease. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think home prices are going to be decreasing or increasing over the next 12 months? Comment below. Also, if I had to guess, I would have to guess that on a national level, home prices are going to decrease over the next 12 months. But of course, as you guys all know, I'm not a real estate market fortune teller. My crystal ball broke a long time ago, but I'll definitely keep you posted with the latest updates. In regards to expectations regarding mortgage rates, check this out because this is pretty eye-opening as well. Only 6% believe that mortgage rates are going to decrease in the next 12 months. Only 6%. Meanwhile, 67% believe that rates are going to increase over the next 12 months. In regards to job loss concerns over the next 12 months, that actually was unchanged at 78% who believe they are not concerned about losing their job in the next 12 months. In regards to jobs at a national level here, on Friday, the July jobs report was actually just published, and they showed that payrolls actually increased 528,000 for the month, and the unemployment rate was 3.5%. This easily topped estimates. The estimates called for 258,000 jobs to be added in July and a 3.6% unemployment rate. But the jobs report for July blew away these estimates because we had 528,000 jobs that were added, or non-farm payrolls that were added in July. Wage growth also surged in July as well. The average hourly earnings jumped 0.5% for the month and 5.2% from a year ago, also higher than estimates. These high employment numbers that were posted last Friday adds fuel to the fire regarding inflation and what the Fed is going to be doing in their next meeting, which is actually 6 weeks from now. So the street is forecasting for the Fed to increase the federal funds rate by 75 basis points in their next meeting. And that's by a probability of 58%. They're only calling for a 50 basis point rate hike of about a 42% probability. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because this is drastically different than last week's forecast. So last week, they were basically calling for an 87% probability that the Fed was going to increase rates by 50 basis points, and only 13% probability they were going to be increasing rates by 75 basis points. And in their next meeting, which would be in November, they're calling for a 51.2% probability that the Fed is going to increase rates to 3.5%. Again, this is the federal funds rate and not mortgage rates. The Fed does not control mortgage rates. And speaking of mortgage rates, according to the Mortgage News Daily as of today, which is the 8th, the average 30-year fixed for people with exceptional credit, of course, is 5.42%. This is up greatly from 2.90% from 1 year ago, or a 2.52 percentage point increase. But take a look at this volatility over the past 7 days though, because rates have actually been all over the place. So for example, 1 week ago, rates were at 5.05%, the lowest rates since April 2022. So please comment below your biggest takeaways from today's video. Also, if you got any value out of this video whatsoever, then please hit the like button and greatly appreciate that. Hope you guys have an awesome day and look forward to seeing you on the next video.